Man, you hear what Taylor Heinicke doing, man? That dude, that's dope. So I'm just letting you know.
Again, I just try and prove him right.
Hold on, did you have one of those mushrooms, or what it is, that star in Mario when you just can't be touched?
I'm trying to imagine Norwell listening, James.
Everyone wants to date Taylor Heinicke.
The Players Club is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders. Welcome into the Players Club. I'm London Fletcher, joined always by my man Santana Moss. And we got QB1, Taylor Heinicke, joining us today. Taylor, we appreciate you joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Hey, man, we got to start off. You guys have won a couple games in a row. First off, how are those tight ends enjoying those J's?
Well, unfortunately, they haven't come in yet. They'll be here next Monday, but I think they'll like them, man. They deserve them. They're just as much as the run game as the offensive line, so they've been doing a really good job, so I think they'll be excited for them.
You know, that's pretty dope. You know, when I first heard the whole thing about you taking the chance to whatever victory or whatever, you know, going out and purchasing a pair of J's, how did that come about? Is that something that just happened on the spot, or it was something that you thought about and said, hey, I'm going to do this, you know, for every victory or whatever?
It kind of happened on the spot last year. You know, obviously first year starting, I didn't know what it felt like to, you know, week to week in the NFL. Yeah. So I'm in the training room for a long time every week, and I just started getting into buying J's, and I forget which week it was the first week, but, you know, we won. I was looking around. I was like, you know what? This would be a cool tradition. Just start buying colorways of the teams I beat.
That's so dope.
You know, it's carried on to this year. And, you know, obviously now the offensive line's getting a couple pairs and tight ends next.
I'm going to tell you this. It's just crazy how it has went so far, because I got guys at home telling me about it. Like, man, you hear what Taylor Heinicke doing? Man, that dude, that's dope. So I'm just letting you know, you got guys in Miami talking about you buying the color of the team that you beat in J's. That's dope, man.
Hey, those offensive linemen, though, you try to even up their swag. I feel like Trey Turner already has some swag, and he probably already had J's. I'm trying to imagine Norwell listening, James.
It's funny because the cherry red 11s came in for them yesterday, and yesterday was just kind of like a walkthrough. So we go in the bubble, and we're all hanging out with our tennis shoes on, and Norwell comes in with his J's. I'm like, Norwell, come on, like you're gonna
mess him up, man.
He doesn't know any better, man.
So we'll teach him. We'll get him coached up.
Yeah, as you kind of look at your journey and going back to high school, growing up in Georgia, and as we got the stats on you, man, you put up some crazy numbers in high school.
Crazy numbers.
Over 4,200 yards your senior year, second most in Georgia history. 44 touchdowns your senior year, third most in Georgia history, National Player of the Year out of Georgia. How'd you end up at ODU?
So, you know, obviously I was undersized. I think I was about 5'9", 5'10", 175 pounds, you know, with soaking wet clothes on. Went to all the camps I could that previous summer. But the thing I think that killed me was I had no film before senior year. I started my junior year. We had a all-time running back, and we're handing him the ball 30 times a game. So I was maybe throwing the ball maybe 12 times a game. You know, obviously doing that, you're not going to get many looks. So, you know, obviously going into my senior year, we had a bunch of really good receivers, and we had a new OC, and he's like, you know what, we're going to throw the ball 40 times a game. So I was like, sweet, you know. It worked out well. Didn't get that ODU offer until, I think, late December.
Really?
So, you know, that's still pretty late. And I just remember thinking, hey, they run the spread up there. It's my first offer. And they were talking about maybe, you know, recruiting another quarterback. And I was like, I got to take it. So at the end of it all, I had 14 offers. Only 2 were FBS.
Really?
Buffalo and Eastern Michigan. And I just want to stick to ODU, and it was a great decision.
As you're going through that year, and you mentioned not getting that offer till December, were you getting, you know, I'm assuming the season was over, or were you all still in the playoffs?
We were still in the playoffs.
Okay, so as the season progressing and you're playing well, still hadn't got the offer yet, where you were getting a little nervous, like, man, maybe I'll have to play at a Division II or you know, walk on somewhere, where you getting a little nervous?
I was really thinking about JUCO. I had a couple JUCO colleges hit me up, and I just didn't want to go that route. I wanted to go somewhere and just, you know, do my 4 years and get going with it. But again, ODU was perfect for me. It was, you know, a blessing in disguise.
You know, I was going to ask that same question. How does that play tricks on your mind, being a guy in high school? Because I remember being a receiver at my high school, and we ran wing T. and I was the receiver. And my senior year, it wasn't until like I still only caught 25 passes my senior year. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like, how am I getting to school with this? But the grace of God, I was a lone jumper in track, so in the state championship, so that got me in school. But does that even have an effect on you once you say, okay, I'm settling for ODU? It's not really like you're settling. That's, to me, that's maybe one of your best options. Mm-hmm. How does that play a role on you when you get to ODU? Are you looking at it like, okay, I got in here from the barely, and now I'm here? Do you say, okay, I have to prove a point, or you just let things transpire the way it was going to happen?
For me, I was just grateful to be there. Again, that offer coming late, and I was like, hey, I very well could be at a JUCO right now. Mm-hmm. So, and they had a good quarterback at the time when I came up there. So, it was good for me to kind of redshirt. I redshirted for the first 4 games. Gotcha. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but when I got there, you could tell the people that were there were good ball players. It wasn't like I'm too good for these guys, or I wasn't coming in thinking I was too good for that school. It wasn't that way at all. So I was just very blessed to have dudes at receiver at ODU. A lot of them could be playing in the league, unfortunately not. But I went in there and just kept on working hard, and here we are.
May I ask him about that 700?
Oh, yeah, go, yeah, absolutely.
So hold on, did you have one of those mushrooms, or what it is, the star on Mario, when you just can't be touched? You had to have the star on Mario, like it's just 750 yards?
730 yards passing, 60 yards rushing, so 790 total.
How many TDs that guy?
I had 5 throwing, 1 rushing. And the funny part about that was it was our first game in conference that year, and they came to our place. We were down 24-0 in the first quarter.
Really?
Yeah. So the OC comes up to me on the sideline. He's like, hey, we're going to throw the ball every play.
I had to throw that damn ball.
He said, we're going to throw the ball every play. And I thought he was joking. So, all right. Well, 79 passes later, we won 64-61.
Are you serious?
So hold on. Hold on. Did you have a girlfriend at that time?
No.
Because I'm pretty sure after that game, you was high on the chart. Yeah. Everyone wants to date Taylor Heinicke.
Started looking a little bit better, a little bit prettier.
Yep. That's back when I still had a little bit of hair.
It's crazy. You put the score out there, because when I saw the 730, the first question I asked Maddie was, did they win? Yeah. Like, you throw that many yards, you just don't know how that kind of that game played out.
Yeah, so the funny part about that was I didn't even know it was that many yards. The first thing that my head coach said to me after that game was like, you had 24 incompletions, what the hell? I was like, come on, coach. Yeah. Right. Just kind of bust my balls a little bit. But
take it.
No, it was a great Saturday. It was definitely one I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, at ODU, during your career, you threw for nearly 15,000 yards, 132 touchdowns, just 39 interceptions, complete almost 68% of your passes, yet you still go undrafted. Were you still kind of being overlooked, and kind of your size and the metrics, the numbers kind of being held against you?
Yeah, it's kind of been that way my whole life. Yeah. So it was kind of like, it wasn't uncharted territory. It's just like I have been here before. And what helped me, from high school to college was just keep working hard, put my head down, work hard. And it's funny enough, the only coach that came to my pro day was Coach Scott Turner.
Wow.
And at the time, he was with Minnesota, and, it meant a lot to me. So he's, obviously he got me to Minnesota, he brought me to Carolina, and now here. So yeah, he's a big believer. And again, I just try and prove him right.
Still to come on the Players Club.
We all came from some of those humbling moments in our career where people doubted you.
The people that believe in you are the ones that got you there.
Like, I came in the league with a chip on my shoulder.
So I don't have to do anything special. Yeah. It's just making the right read, get the ball in my hand, getting the playmaker's hands, and letting them do the things.
Welcome to the Fight Club, where everybody show me love. Yeah, show me love. Yeah, show me love.
Handoff Gibson off the edge and through. They're marking it at the 1. Pull the field to the back of the end zone. Antonio Gibson! Toe tap! With McLaurin near sideline. It's caught!
Touchdown, Washington! Time for the player profile presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders. A lot of times, and me personally, coming from a Division III school, 5'10" linebacker, undersized, I kind of use that as motivation. Like, I came in the league with a chip on my shoulder, but I don't get the sense that you like had a chip on your shoulder or have a chip. Maybe you do, in terms of, hey, you getting people continuing to doubt you. Do you play with a chip on your shoulder, or have you had that, or is it just more like, I know what I can do, I'm just going to go out there and prove it?
A little bit of both. Obviously you hear some of the noise on the outside.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to prove them wrong, and you kind of get a little pissed off. But at the same time, they're not the ones that got you there. The people that believe in you are the ones that got you there, and that's what that's what I value the most. And I just want to keep proving them right. Because at the end of the day, they took a shot on me, and they kind of put their neck out for me, year in, year out. And I think the best thing I can do is just prove them right.
We all sitting in that same seat, because I was a guy, when I was leaving high school, I was 5'7". I remember 5'7", 170 pounds. And I remember the Army recruit from my school told me I'm stupid for taking a track scholarship at University of Miami. You're not University of Miami material. Yeah, it might be for track, not football. And I had Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan that I should have took a chance to, because they wanted to give me football scholarships. But I said all that to say this: we all came from some of those humbling moments in our career where people doubted you. But isn't that the reason why we play the way we play, or we looked at the way we looked at when we go out there and have great games? Because people already had that doubt in their mind, looking at your stature as a quarterback, saying that, this is where he came from, ODU. This is what this is his stint, XFL, or being home at one point in time. That's the reason why the story is what it is. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, regardless if you have a chip or not, you have the chance to always rewrite the narrative or make the narrative what you wanted. So how does that goes about yourself when and I know you don't think about it, because I never thought about it. That's why I didn't play my game. Mm-hmm. But isn't it sweet when you have a chance to say, with all this, what I went through, and all this that they've had to say about me, I'm able to go out here and paint the picture the way I want it.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head right there. I think the coolest part about that is it's not even for me. It's me sharing my story with the kids I try and train in the off season. Mm-hmm. All these kids nowadays think that if they're not going D1, it's over. Come on, man. There's still so much time to develop and become a player that you want to be. And, just because you go to an FCS school or Division II, it doesn't matter. If you're good enough, these people in the NFL are going to find you.
You got a bunch of weapons, man, on the offense. You starting with Terry, Gibson, Brian Robinson, Logan Thomas,
you name it,
Curtis Samuel, Jahan.
You name it.
Is there a challenge to try to figure out how to get all these playmakers to football? And also, what's it like having so many playmakers at your disposal?
So I don't really try and force anyone the ball. I kind of let Scott take care of that.
But play calling.
Yeah. But if you got Terry one-on-one, yeah.
Right. After Terry's down there, we're going to get to that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's nice to have. So again, if we have a play that's designed for Terry, but they double him, hey, that just means other guys are one-on-one.
Bingo.
And not to say anything bad about last year's guys, they did a great job for what they were asked to do. But they're no Jahan, they're no Curtis Samuel, they're no B-Rob.
Yeah.
So to have those weapons, it's the best friend for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially with that run game and the defense that we have, you want to be a quarterback on this team.
And that's what I see from you. I see a guy that's saying, okay, this is another opportunity for me. And whether I'm throwing for 200 plus with 2 touchdowns, or 190 something and a touchdown, or and a pick, I'm gonna stand on that. And guess what? The next week I'm gonna get back out here and I'm gonna do it again, because that's the game. That's the reason why we play the game. Folks look at your career and look at the stats and think every game was peaches and cream. Yep. Man, I've had so many games where I drop balls, and you have to go home and live with that. Yep. But you have to also know that I get another chance to go out there and redeem myself. So I see you doing that week in and week out, and I just want to, I'm not actually no question right now. I'm tipping my hat off to you, because I've seen, I guess you can call it the maturation in your game and in your career. You know what I'm saying? Your development has been eye-popping. I'm watching it every year transpire. So hats off to you, man, and keep that fire.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest parts as a quarterback is, when you get to this level, you were the guy in high school and college, and you were making the plays. And you have to understand, in the NFL, it's a true team game, man. If the last 2-3 weeks, stats aren't there, but hey, we're winning. And keeping the ball in our possession is just as important as maybe throwing a touchdown. So yeah, if I don't throw a touchdown, but we don't turn the ball over, and we're running the ball for 200 yards, and the defense is playing like they're doing, hey, that's the recipe for that week. Mm-hmm. So let's keep going at it.
Do you have a moment? And I wanted to ask you this, because I don't think I ever asked a quarterback this. do you have any moments in where you get in time to study and you say, okay, damn, I want to be a little better at some of the things that I didn't do last week? Just from the ups and downs when it comes to moving the chains on third down. Last week wasn't a pretty good week for whatever reason. Who cares? We won the game. That week that you guys was hitting on all cylinders, I mean, we ran the ball a lot, but also when we threw the ball, it seemed like you couldn't miss nobody. Do you have those moments where you saying, okay, maybe it's me or maybe I have to do something a little better? Because I know you're the quarterback, and we're going to always give you the glory for when we win, and we're going to blame you when we lose. You know how it goes, vice versa.
Yeah, it's really the little things. Like last week specifically, we called a little roll pass. B-Raw was in the flat, and there's a guy on him, but he was maybe a yard or two behind him. I ended up throwing the ball away, and you kind of look back on it, and like that resulted in a 3rd and 12. If I just took that flat earlier, maybe we get 5 yards, and it turns into a 3rd and 2 maybe, which is a lot easier to convert, obviously. So it's really the little details. Just taking what's there. Again, we have so many weapons, so I don't have to do anything special. Yeah. It's just making the right read, get the ball in my hand, get in the playmaker's hands, and letting them do the thing. So at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Still to come on the Players Club, Terry is down there somewhere.
I had my eyes closed.
The legend of Heinicke was born. want us to have tea in the middle of the day. Be sure to listen to the extended version of the Players Club podcast wherever you get your podcast. Plus, you can watch on Commanders YouTube and Commanders.com.
Welcome to the Fight Club where everybody show me love. Show me love. Show me love.
Handoff Gibson off the edge. They're marking it at the 1. Pull the wheel to the back of the end zone. Antonio Gibson! Toe tap! With McLaurin near sideline. It's caught! Touchdown! Touchdown
Washington! I want to go back to that playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and there was something that came out of that, a T-shirt. The legend of Heinicke was born.
Heinicke!
Now, there's a new T-shirt out where it's showing you launching the football, and it says, expletive, Terry is down there somewhere. So you're just throwing it. How did that T-shirt come about? This is a new one, and where can we get those T-shirts too?
Okay, so it's a funny story. That picture had my eyes closed, and I was throwing the ball to Terry on a 3rd down conversion on their sideline, and so the picture started going viral. And all my buddies from high school, we have a group chat, and they sent the picture, and they're like, "Dude, you got to make a picture of this or a T-shirt of this." I was like, "Well, it's just one play. I'm not really going to do that." Well, the next week we play the Colts. Throw it down to Terry, he makes a great play. Next week is the Vikings. I don't think anything happened crazy then. But then, the Curtis one happened then. But then the next week against the Eagles, I threw a nice 9 ball to Terry. And so then I'm kind of sitting there thinking, I might have to do this. And so I hit up my agent, kind of gave him a graphic of what I wanted. And it happened quick. I hit him up right after the game, and we got the shirts made. So you can find the shirts on my Instagram, Taylor Heinicke store. And I just ordered 100 for the facility, so you guys will be getting one soon.
You and Terry are going to do something with the proceeds with that?
Yeah, so, I talked to him. Obviously, I'm using his name on the shirt. I felt like it was a disservice to him if he didn't get anything from it. So a percentage of the proceeds in like these first 2 to 3 weeks of sales will be going to his foundation to help kids in schools. So I thought it was a pretty good deal right there.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I mean, with everything right here at you grips, we sitting at 6-5 now. How was the mindset in the locker room that knowing that now basically you guys have your destiny in your hand? Each game you could just chip away at where you want to be at. Yep. What's that mindset like, and what are some of the things that you guys on the offensive side, because all you can control is what you can control. Yep. What are some of the things you making sure the offense be honed in on going forward?
Keep doing what we're doing. I think that like last week, for example, was a huge trap game for us. We just came off a huge win against the undefeated Eagles at their place Monday night. Short week going against the Texans. And looking at their film, I mean, they've lost 5-6 games by one possession. So their record could very easily be switched. So, the biggest thing was, hey, we don't need to lose a game to get back on track. Let's not make that happen. Let's get back on track with a win and playing well. Yeah. And I think Jonathan Allen really hit that on the head after the Texans game. He said, "Yeah, we win. Let's celebrate it, but that wasn't our best effort. Let's get back on track." So, you've gone through it before. You get to this time in the year, and sometimes you're already out of the playoff race. And coming to the facility, it's just tough every day because there's just really nothing to play for. Yeah. So the fact that we have our own destiny in our hands, and we kind of control our own destiny throughout the rest of the year, it's a fun time to come to the facility and work hard every day. And the guys notice that, and we have fun with it. So it's a very fun time to be in the locker room right now.
You got a nickname, Houdini Heinicke. When did that come about, and do you like that nickname?
I like it. I think it speaks a lot of how I've played my whole life. Sometimes it's not pretty, and it's not your prototypical quarterback kind of deal, but some way, somehow, I'm going to try and make it work. And I like it. It's a cool deal, and I'll embrace it. I haven't heard many people in this facility call me that, but
was that back in college that they gave you that nickname?
A little bit of college, yeah. We're kind of running around in circles and throwing it up to those guys. So, the ODU guys definitely helped me out for sure.
That came from your affinity for Brett Favre and just him slinging it around the yard. Were you a big time Packers fan or just a Brett Favre fan growing up?
Big time Packer fan. My dad was born in Wisconsin, so the moment I was born, there was a cheese head on my head, and grew up watching Brett Favre, and he's the main reason I fell in love with the game of football. How passionate he was, how much fun he had out there. I mean, I remember him talking trash to Warren Sapp after Warren Sapp just crushed him.
I remember that.
I was like, that's who I want to be like. I just remember every halftime of every Packer game, I would go out in the backyard with my Brett Favre jersey on, just try and be like him. So it's kind of funny how it came full circle, and we beat the Packers this year. That was a special one.
Yeah, you definitely have some of that moxie that I can see from Brett Favre, but also a guy who I spoke on earlier this week. They asked me a couple of questions about you, and I said, I don't think Rex Grossman had your wheels because he couldn't run from nobody, but you guys had the same kind of swag.
Yeah,
I mean, Rex Grossman was a guy that if you saw us on the plane, he'll be with us playing cards for money. He was a big gambler. Not sure if you're a gambler or nothing like that, but he found himself around us a lot, and I see that in you. Is that something that was kind of, because you grew up in Georgia, so I know football is a little different. Football in Georgia is similar to South Florida football. You got to be a dual threat. It's not just sit in the pocket. Did you ever care about being a guy that's just be a pocket passer, or did you relish in the moment of knowing that, hey, I can get outside this pocket and do some damage too?
Yeah, growing up watching ball, quarterback, they were all pocket passers, and I think the guy that broke that mold was Mike Vick. Obviously, I don't have the tools like Mike Vick does, but after he did it, you started seeing more and more of it. And I knew I was athletic, and I knew I could make some plays on my feet. So I started trying to use it, and it's worked out in my favor. So I embraced it. I really worked on trying to be a pocket passer and just using my legs when I need to. Yeah. Because again, at the end of the day, quarterback, just get the balls in that guy's hand. But in today's game, there's very few just legit pocket passers. I feel like everyone's got to be mobile now. The DNs are just unbelievable nowadays. You got to be able to be mobile and move around. So it's something I definitely embrace.
They put a lot of stress on the defense. Just speaking from my own personal experience, when you got a quarterback that can move, it puts a lot of stress on us as we're preparing for that game plan or preparing for that quarterback in the week leading up to that game. Yeah. Shifting gears to off the field. What do you like to do other than purchase your Jordans? What things do you like to do off the field?
So I'm a huge movie/show buff. My best friend, he lives out in Colorado. He actually majored in film. So every time I need a show to watch, I'll just text him that this one's getting great reviews, this and that. So big movie show guy. I want to start traveling. I haven't really got outside the country at all. So I want to start doing that, kind of seeing the world.
Man, if I told y'all the kind of shows I watch, look, I'm gonna share this the Players Club. So I'm gonna share this with y'all, man. I'm a middle linebacker, you know, former middle linebacker, and I actually like watching shows about the English royalty, the Queen.
No, I like that.
Yeah,
like
we're
those
watching.
movies.
My wife and I
watch
watch.
Bridgerton then.
Yeah, we're watching the new episode of the new season of The Crown.
Okay.
Yeah, so I tell my wife, I was like, one day, I'm like, yeah, baby, I want to. I don't call her baby. She don't like that. So I was like, yeah, I want us to have tea in the middle of the day. So she's every guest that comes on our show, man. We have them sign a football.
Yeah, I think
as,
right.
to kind of commemorate, you know, coming on the show, man.
Bless us with that signature,
we
man.
appreciate you taking your time because with quarterbacks, I tell people that they're playing quarterback in the NFL. It's the hardest position in sport.
Definitely CEO.
Because of obviously the physical demand, but the mental demands and the time. Like, you don't just leave this here. You're home studying and you know that. So we definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule as you prepare for the Atlanta Falcons to come chop it up with us on the Players Club.
No, man, I've been here for 2.5 years now, and I've always seen guys come in here, and I'm like, man, I want to be on that show.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys had me on.
You graced us with your presence, man, and all we want to do is send well wishes to you this weekend, buddy.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.